CanadaSoccerStore.com is the official home for the widest range of Canada Soccer licensed products.
Match, and the Canadian women's national team celebrated one of their greats by scoring 4 and holding a pretty defensively resolute performance as well. To La Belle Province we go as these nations meet for a second time in the week as Canada prepares for an all-important showdown with the Americans in less than 1 month's time. Always interesting to wonder how coaches manage these windows when you play the same opponent back to back. Do you look to the youth? Do you try to get a couple of results? What are the priorities? Well, Casey Stoney was able to share a few of hers with us. We will discuss those at length throughout the course of the next 90 minutes. And yes, we will also see a few young players make their Canadian full debut tonight, including Zara Chavoshi, and first start as well for Holly Ward. The full starting 11 is coming up following the playing of the respective national anthems for Canada and Haiti right here on One Soccer.
Chers partisans, veuillez rester debout, élevez les couleurs canadiennes et joignez-vous à nous pour le Haut-Canada.
It's Canada and Haiti in an international friendly from Stade Saputo in Montreal, Quebec. 22 degrees and mostly sunny skies. A beautiful midweek evening in La Belle Province. Canada and Haiti. It was 4-1 as Canada scored early and scored often. It wasn't just Desiree Scott, it was also Janine Sones who stole the spotlights just a few days ago. Casey Stoney, who returns to the group after missing out on the match in Winnipeg due to a personal matter she had attended to, has made only kept 2 players, in this starting 11. Canada once again in a 4-3-3. Only Gabby Carl and Jessie Fleming remain. A very interesting, very young backline of Carl, Chavosi, Rose, and Levasseur. Awujo, Regan, and Fleming are in midfield. We'll see the product of AFC Toronto plays more as the 6, with Holly Ward, also of the Northern Super League, Evelyn Viet, and Olivia Smith in the attacking group. Sabrina D'Angelo takes over, and Haiti will be hoping to test her certainly more than they were able to test Kaylin Sheridan at Princess Auto Stadium. Other news and notes amongst the Canadian group. We know Desiree Scott is unavailable for selection today. She is now retired, and yes, that will take some time to get used to saying, but Jordan Heidema also departing the team. She has a personal matter that she needed to head home to deal with. The referees tonight, it is a crew led by the 29-year-old Erika Gonzalez of Mexico. Maria Juarez, also of Mexico, will be one of the first assistant referees. Gabriela Jimenez of Costa Rica will run the other line. Sheila Couture, the Canadian, is today's fourth official. We see Melchi Dumarnay captaining Haiti and Jessie Fleming wearing the armband for Canada. And introducing Haiti, playing in a 4-2-3-1 once again. The group making just one change to their starting 11. It will be Modeline Moriel who will come in to play in the double pivot alongside Deborah Bien-Aimé. It was Bajiba Louis who scored the one and only goal for the Haitians in Winnipeg. Rosaline Eloisson and Shirley Jeudi will also be in that attacking four. The back line unchanged. Ketna Louis, Claire Constant, Jennifer Limage, and Amandine Pierre-Louis playing in front of Kaina Pietrus. This is a Haitian side, as those who tuned in with us just a few days ago will know, have some players playing at some of the highest levels in world football, and few more so than Melchi Dumarnay, who we'll speak about in just a little bit. But Jess Lacey, now that you're all settled in the commentary booth, we would be remiss not to start with Olivia Smith, fresh off being named the LiverpoolFC.com Player of the Year, 9 goals and an assist for the Whitby, Ontario native. She gets a chance to play in the front three today, and I imagine if the match against the Americans was tomorrow, she would also be in that starting 11. She's been that good.
Yeah, I think so. I think that she's a player that has continued to grow. Just a few years ago, we were talking about how she wasn't ready and she wasn't good enough to be playing on that starting 11, and I think that she has absolutely shut us all up with that. She is a growing star for this side. She brings so much to this attack in her ability to go 1v1. She's very good with her off the ball movement, and she's not afraid to strike from distance. She hits a ball like I would say no one else on this team, so I think that seeing her in that starting 11 is very well deserved.
Well, we are underway at Stade Saputo. Canada wearing all red and attacking the goal to the left side of your screen in this first half. Haiti in blue, working from left to right towards Sabrina D'Angelo of Aston Villa. Reminder, for every single Canadian men's or women's national team match, we have commentary available en français. Tonight, it is Matt Cullen, who did a brilliant job in the English booth in Winnipeg. That is available for those on the One Soccer app or onesoccer.ca. Just choose audio track number 2. Otherwise, you're more than welcome to join myself and Jess Lacey, a former Canadian Youth International and Northern Super League color commentator, in the booth this evening. So Dumarnay, a player that I wanted to mention, she is one of those playing in the French top flight with Olympique Lyonnais, or the OL Lyon now, after something of a controversial rebrand, but that's for another episode today. There are some players with quality, Jess, in the team, despite this being a nation ranked 53rd in the FIFA World Rankings. Where do Canada have to be careful tonight?
I think it's in those transitional moments. Haiti did a very good job at exposing them in the transitional moments, using their athleticism, using their physicality. So it's just a matter of them having to secure that ball and be able to shut down that transition higher up the pitch. They weren't able to do that last match, and that's where you saw Haiti find those moments. Thankfully, they weren't too clinical in that final third. They were only able to get one away, but that's just one thing that they have to be aware of today.
Always great to speak with Casey Stoney, which we were able to do yesterday. I wasn't doubting for a second that she was going to watch the match back on replay and be fully prepared to discuss what she liked, what she didn't, despite being away from the group. And look, she says we're far from a completed project, but she likes the direction that they're headed in. This is Holly Ward, who has 2 assists for the Vancouver Rise and shimmies around the right back. Centering pass just off the shoulder of Fleming, who turns and offers a thumbs up, knowing that she probably should have been in that zone.
That's a perfect example of what Holly Ward does. She's so great at turning and going at full pace, and she continues to do it in a very resilient way, getting that ball across. She wasn't able to connect there with anyone crashing into the box, but she does so well to continue to create a lot of opportunities for her Vancouver Rise team, and we're seeing her do it this early on in this game.
Lou Quignette is the head coach of the Haitian women's national team. Only 28 years of age and at the helm of this group. Oh, to be a goalkeeper, you'd never need to tie your own laces again.
You know, I was going to say that, but...
Listen, I don't know how there's any dexterity available under those leather mitts they wear. Dumornay fanning it into midfield. Emma Regan unable to dispossess the side in blue. A strong tackle from Olivia Smith, making her presence felt inside of 3.5 minutes. Marie Levasseur steps up. Exchanging passes with Fleming, the return not controlled softly. Regan has to go to ground, but is able to find the captain. Smith finds some vacant grass to Jade Rose and Sabrina D'Angelo. 15th start in Sabrina's international career for the Reds. Poor ball from Rose, cheaply given away. Rosalina Eloisson. Once again, Olivia Smith there to save the day. She's doing more defensively than offensively in his first few minutes.
Yeah, here's another look at it. She does so well to be able to get all ball there and get that out of the danger zone. Hard tackle, and it's so great to see Olivia Smith growing into that player defensively. That's one critique that I think over the past few years has been there, is can she handle the ball defensively? Can she take care of the player there? So I think that we're already seeing how much she's grown in the past few years and what she's capable of on both ends of the ball.
How much of that too, Jess? Left behind.
Yeah, I imagine it's a big part of it, and she is such a talented player, so it's no shock that she's developed as tremendously as she has.
Zara Chavoshi wearing number 30 on her Canadian debut. She said it would be a childhood dream come true to get the Canadian appearance, and it's precisely what Casey Stoney has awarded her here tonight. Played 2 matches with the Orlando Pride in the NWSL this season.
It's a big moment for her. I think that's exciting. It's exciting to see new faces, and especially in that center back role, you need to step in there confidently to be able to help drive this back line and create that composure within the back, and again, come out confident, stay calm, play the ball when it's on, and just grow as a player. And I think this is a big moment for her, and I'm excited to see her step into that role.
Holly Ward, second cap for her, previous substitute appearance. Just already speaking to some of the things about her game she's liked with the Vancouver Rise. It's she and Emma Regan who represent the Northern Super League in the starting 11 today. Feels as though there's always a little extra emphasis on set plays in an international friendly. You can perhaps get a little on both sides of the dead ball. Carl will stay lateral. 2 players in the wall being marched back by referee Gonzalez. Fleming stays as a left-footed option. Olivia Smith, let's call it from 30. Arm in the air, she starts her run, plays the cross in, straight to the Haitian center back, but Smith collects the loose ball, ricochets around, and she takes a clearance off the face and drops understandably so. That wasn't friendly fire, some very unfriendly fire from close range.
Yeah, here's another look at that, straight to the face. Wow, I hope she's all right. That definitely didn't look like it felt too great.
And it doesn't matter who's kicking the ball, but when it's the striker, it hurts a little more. They know how to put their laces through it, clearance or otherwise. Casey Stoney and the supporters here at Stade Saputo with some understandable concern. One of the young up-and-coming stars in the national team fold. Anything else, Jess, from our conversation with Casey Stoney yesterday that stood out to you, whether it's from the match itself or just the overall trend that this program is entering?
Yeah, I think she spoke quite a bit about the fullback role, and I think that that's one position that there's been a question mark surrounding it because of injury. There's players who aren't available right now. You know that an Ashley Lawrence or a Jade Riviere is going to step into that role potentially, but I don't think that anyone has necessarily earned it since Stoney has come in. It's been a lot of different faces. People have performed well. Other people have not performed great enough to get a second call back. So I think that just a matter of seeing these new faces today proves what Casey Stoney is chasing. She really needs to solidify that back line and how crucial that will be heading into the 2027 World Cup. So I think that it's just a matter of focusing on that today and being able to see what a player like Marie Levasseur is able to do.
Olivia Smith still not up to her feet yet as the Canadian medical team go through all the requisite tests. Adriana Leon disappears near the Canadian dugout, and with Smith still down and with the way she is being looked at by the physio, I would be shocked if we didn't see her shift, unfortunately, end early. And the indication from the touchline is that Adriana Leon will be coming into the match here. Glance at the iPad. Of course, she is very familiar with the opposition, but maybe just some things that Casey Stoney and staff would like to see a little bit differently. They're going to bring the stretcher out for Olivia Smith here. And you can hear some Canadian supporters trying to offer some encouragement from their seats, but also there is some understandable and rightful concern for Olivia, who took that clearance from about 5 yards away. Troubling scenes for sure. Well, for Adriana Leon against Haiti in Winnipeg, a brace for her, scoring in the 7th and 9th minutes of the match, and will probably strike some fear in the hearts and minds of the Haitian defenders when she comes in.
With that, third all-time leading goal scorer for this country, and I think that says a lot on its own and just speaks about the quality that she brings to the attacking side of this Canadian team.
The fourth official makes the substitution official. Understandable concern still for Olivia Smith. You hear the applause as she is being aided off the pitch by the stretcher crew. It's absolutely never a scene you want to see. You hope, as always, that it's precaution first, foremost, and I suppose second most as well for Olivia Smith. Unfortunately for her, her evening comes to an end officially in the 12th minute of the match. Adriana Leon, 3 goals and an assist in 10 matches played with the Wave this season. She has been thrust into the action earlier than expected, if she was even expecting to see the pitch at all. The players trying to lift themselves back up after the pause, both emotionally and physically. Fleming just quite can't get there in time, though the offside flag was raised nevertheless. Seeing a lot of red, of course, at Stade Saputo, which is always an adjustment when you're so used to CF Montreal, but also a lot of Haitian blue and red. Such a strong Haitian community here in Montreal. Leon just in behind of Evelyn Vienne, the AS Roma striker, who was making a move towards goal.
Wasn't expecting Leon to pass that. I thought, you know, she could definitely strike it from there. We've seen what she can do in and around the 18. Very out of character for her not to just strike it from there and put it home.
Well, I know you're wearing your fancy TV flats right now, but if you were to put your striker boots on for a second, how long would it take you to get yourself mentally and physically engaged? Because it's got to be tough. You always stay ready. That's kind of the job as the sub, but it's a different proposition to come into a match that's 7 minutes old.
Absolutely. It does take a minute to adjust. You saw her make such a great run to be able to create that. It wasn't a bad decision to try to find Vienne, but there was just a little bit too many players. There was too many players around her for her to be able to create anything out of that. And again, danger zone inside the 18, strike it. But it definitely takes a minute to find your footing when you come in.
Regan helps force the turnover. Vienne looking to go to the wing as Leon was driving down the central seam. Araujo, well, she stopped playing for a second. I think she knew she fouled the Haitian midfielder. The referee says play on.
If you can get away with it, you got to keep going. That's probably bad advice, but if it goes in your favor, it's great advice.
You're starting to, you need to understand your platform now, Jess, that you're a big TV star. The kids are listening.
I would still encourage it. If the ref doesn't call it, play on.
Fair enough. And that takes us through 15 minutes. It is Marie Levasseur.
Proud former teammate moment, seeing her get that call back in.
22 matches she played with Montpellier this season in Ligue 1. Fleming, nice fake, bounces off the contact. The Canadian captain deep in the box. Evelyn Vienne's header opens the scoring. Jessie Fleming showing off her wheels and strength as the right back could not dispossess her, and from there it's an easy one for Evelyn Vienne, scoring in her home province.
This is such a great goal. You know, Jessie Fleming is a player that always wants the ball. She does so well to find the ball when she is off of it. So I think that her off-the-ball movement starts this. She's able to get on that ball out wide, realizes, checks her shoulder and says, I'm going to try this. I'm going to go 1v1, uses some physicality, gets by, drives end line, and does a little bit of a, I know you love this word, Adam, a cheeky chip, and gets that right into Vienne, who does really well to just be able to place that right in the back of the net. But this is such a great creative goal, and this is what you love to see, and honestly not shocking from a player like Jessie Fleming.
Evelyn Vienne from L'Ancienne Lorette up in Quebec City, a suburb, an enclave within the city, and a thumbs up or two to a few supporters, I imagine, wearing Vienne jerseys tonight.
That goal is also very much in Evelyn Vienne fashion.
Right.
I've had the pleasure, or I guess displeasure, playing against her because she's so great that you don't want to be on the opposite side of her. But she is somebody that is ruthless in that 18, specifically with her head, being able to win those crosses. So that's very much an Evelyn Vienne goal.
There's Linelle Wasson. Louise spinning free. Simi Awujo pokes it back to Gabby Carl, who at least is able to clear her defensive third.
You saw Shavoshi really stepping up there and speaking, being very vocal. Being a center back, you don't have very much time and to be quiet and to not be confident. So you're seeing her already stepping into that, bringing that confidence of being able to direct people around you, because that is what you need from your center backs, from your goalkeeper. So it's great to see her finding that confidence and stepping into it.
D'Angelo's clearance to Holly Ward. Senyò up to the midway line. Dumornay gets into the back. Pardon me, Maudelaine Moril.
It's another look at it, just a bit of a shove on the back.
I know nobody wants to hear my fashion takes, but I would love to see the day that clubs, international sides, just pick a font the announcers can read. That would be fantastic. A 5? Is it a 6? It's anyone's guess.
I love hearing your takes, Adam.
You don't have to lie on camera, Jess. It's okay.
Okay, I'll take it back then.
Thank you. Mind yourself, says the referee, just as I say to Jess Lacey. Rose. Still keeping Canadian supporters on edge on who she'll sign for. Leon Awujo and Gabby Carl. Wards. She saw Fleming have success driving at the right back. The cross was a little off balance and it ends up and away from the Haitian goal.
She's not able to get that across as she would have liked, but I think that, you know, one thing Stoney mentioned to us as well was that she wanted more flank play in this matchup. So I think that's where Holly Ward is really going to come in, and her ability to go 1v1 and drive end line and get crosses into the box. It's a good idea. It's going to come, again, nerves are obviously a factor as well. Just didn't come off her left foot quite as well as it could have. But you love the ability for her to go forward and look up and recognize that the cross is on.
Levasseur asking the understandable question of what did I do? To which the referee does not offer an explanation, just points towards Sabrina D'Angelo's goal. Ward shoves off of Deborah Bien-Aimé. Good steal in midfield. Regan's at the center of it again. Leon Viquetna-Louis. Louis gets back goal side and just takes the angle away. That's well defended. Viquetna-Louis teammates with Murray Levasseur at Montpellier. Operating down the same flank tonight for the respective defensive groups. Ward has to pull out of the race. Claire Constant.
Keep an eye on Emma Regan. One thing that makes her so great, and I think that's what sort of catapulted her to the top of that 6 role for this national team in such a short period of time, is her ability to find space and want the ball. She demands it constantly. You see her checking her shoulder, finding those half spaces, finding those gaps, and just operating in them so calmly.
Brilliant adjustment from Carl as Ward runs between the lines. Ward has to chop it back to the middle. She was fended off by Moril. Leon, heavy touch, but recovers. Fleming pokes it along Awujo, wide open Simi Awujo. Ward now. Regan, Fleming, and Levasseur. Again. Parried out of the box. Fleming once again from the end line. Once again puts it on a plate, and guess who? Holly Ward on her full debut has her first goal for Canada.
What a moment. What a great moment for Holly Ward. What a great team goal. Awesome ball across. This is exactly what you want. You saw them get on the board in the last game early. We've challenged them to be a team that is so front-footed and get numbers forward and get crosses in the box and get players putting their body on the line. And Holly Ward did exactly that. Here's another look at it. Evelyn Vienne does well to stay on side here. And Jessie Fleming once again getting involved in the attack to be able to get a great ball across, great service, and Holly Ward does so well to redirect that back into the far post.
Want to know if Janine Sonis was doing her best Jessie Fleming impression the other night, or if it's the other way around tonight, as Fleming has 2 quick assists. Brilliant header as Ward, got there first, and Canada leads Haiti by 2-0 less than 24 minutes in.
2 great playmakers is better than 1, so we love to see it.
From a Haitian perspective, you're frustrated for a variety of reasons, but Canada are just having their way with the Haitian defense right now. Anywhere they want to go, there isn't enough resistance to prevent them from getting there. Rose off the mark. That's a couple of passes that she's failed to connect on early on.
With that said, Adam, we did see Haiti grow into the matchup last time. Canada started off having a really great first half. It was sort of as the half progressed that you saw Haiti start to find those moments of bright spots and be able to not necessarily capitalize, but create something dangerous. And in the second half, they were able to find the back of the net. So I think that although Canada is dominating right now, this has to be a consistent thing to the final minute if they want to walk away with a win. A 2-0 lead is a dangerous lead. I say this every single time. 2-0 is the worst lead to have in a sport. So it's just a matter of keeping that up.
Ward running at Amandine Pierre-Louis. She has been under siege at that position. Both fullbacks have, to be fair. This is Dumornay. Everywhere she turns, a red shirt emerges. Regan continues the pressure. Pokes it free from Morrill. Numbers in the box for Canada. Regan doesn't reach Leon. Chested down by Dumornay, and she dribbles it out of the box herself. Here comes Leon, driving all the way to the caper. Beatrice gets a moment to gather herself. The teammates can do the same, but it is one-way traffic right now as Canada have started this match brightly. Chavoshi sends Carl. Well-weighted pass. Carl's got time. Speed and recovery from Rosaline Elwasson.
You're seeing both Rose and Chavoshi look up, not having very many options, a lot of stagnant players sort of cramming into the middle of the park there, leaving that gap open for a Gabby Carl to run onto, but there needs to be a bit more movement in the middle of the park there. They've been so great at doing that so far, so we'll just love to see that continue to give options to your back line who's trying to build out against an aggressive Haitian side.
Watch yourself, the referee warns both Yeneme and Pietrus. In swinger, Caper spills it, and Vienne had a chance for her brace. Might have even grazed the woodwork on the shot, but just wide of target.
This is a great ball in, great delivery. It's very hard to deal with. I believe that's Holly Ward that jumps up to create some problems for the Haitian defense, and Vienne getting her foot on that, just not able to quite get it on frame.
Nice read and step on the right wing. Fleming keeps Canada moving forward. Leon, Ward races over. A half-second late. Fleming. Great chemistry with she and Adriana Leon. Vienne just got jammed up and had no way of getting to the other side of the pass. Rose, Levasseur, and Chavoshi. Chavoshi talking through the experience and getting the call, or rather the text from Casey Stoney. I love how that's how players are finding out they're getting called to their country, is through a text message. My texts are nowhere nearly as exciting as that. And she said, look, I'm just trying to have good standings with everyone, learn, observe. It's been an awesome experience so far. Played at Wake Forest University with Nikayla Small when she was with Cindy Ty's U20 program, and one thing leading to another for Chavoshi. Has a lot of Canadian family, despite being born and raised in Potomac, Maryland.
It's also great to see Simi Wujo back in the mix after not having played under Stoney this year so far. So it's great to see her back in there. Before she was injured, she was somebody that was really making a case for herself and why she should be a starter for this side. Her ability to bring a bit of that build up to the attack, but also was so influential in her ability to defend. So I think it's great that she's getting her footing once again in the starting 11 and getting the opportunity to prove where she stands.
Frustration from Shirley Judy as she thought she was fouled by Ward. Wujo, who played 12 times with Manchester United this season in the WSL. Only made 2 starts, though, in her rookie season. Still just 20 years old. 2 starts in the WSL is impressive regardless, but when you're 20, all the more so.
No big deal.
Casual. Vienne. Levasseur. Clever pass into the middle and charging in came Vienne, who is down in a heap. Levasseur trying to get back into position. Wujo's deputizing. Offside flag was raised, but Chavoshi recognizing that she needed to get over and cover.
Isn't it? Look at that collision. Evelyn Vienne just getting caught up there with Fleming, not being able to keep that ball. Looks like she got some scrape on her knees. That definitely didn't feel great.
I swear she's happy she's playing in Montreal tonight and not Winnipeg. It's new turf, but it's still turf.
Yeah, turf is definitely not that fun to play on. I got some scars to prove that.
I've watched you play, I believe that.
Yeah, I'm a big diver.
Your words.
You're supposed to say no.
I would never lie to our audience.
That's crazy, Adam.
Chavoshi gets this restarted for Gabby Carl. Asking a lot of Ward that time. And Chavoshi is going to have Dumornay right off her back, and just a little bit too casual. 2-on-1 for Haiti as the captain feathers a pass across the face of goal. Badji Baloui with a golden opportunity, but sends it well high into the seats at Stade Saputo.
Luck was on their side for that one, because she checks her shoulder here, but she doesn't realize that Dumornay is right there, and this is a very experienced player. She's going to pounce. She plays a great ball across, but Louise not able to finish that. A lot of luck on Canada's side for that one. Too easy, and that cannot be happening.
Well, there's your welcome to senior international football moment for Zara, who's otherwise been very positive through 32 minutes. It's a fantastic Melchior Dumarnet, who's forced to play deeper in this Haitian team just because of her qualities, maybe better suited covering more grass than just scoring goals, but she scores goals for fun. In 26 matches for Lyon this season, she scored 21 times, including 6 in the Champions League.
You saw just in that match alone, in the first matchup between these two sides, she was huge for this side. Yeah. She was able to create so many opportunities, whether that was in transitional moments or just straight up build up from the back. If she is on the ball, she is creating some sort of dangerous opportunity for this Haitian side. She likes to float out to that flank and be able to get crosses in the box. That is how they scored their goal in the first game. That's how we almost saw them score right here. So she's definitely a very instrumental part of their attack.
Casey Stoney and Natalie Henderson trading some notes as we're through 33 minutes. Goals from Vienne and Holly Ward. As Canada leads Haiti by 2-0 this international friendly. Adam Jenkins, Jessica Lisi, and Amy Walsh with you in the One Soccer broadcast commentary team tonight. Or are you not wanting me to say Amy Walsh's name after the ruling from earlier in the broadcast, Jess? Tough loss.
That was Andy that decided that. That was crazy. I definitely won. Everybody tweet, message, I won. I just want Jordan to know that.
We'll see more from Jordan and Amy in about 11 minutes' time. That picture of Amy in the judge regalia is her new contact photo in my phone, by the way. This is Lyon. Adriana Lyon. Emma Reagan. Sideways for Carl. Wards. Tackled strongly by Amandine Pierre-Louis.
Bit of a shove there in the lower back. Holly Ward gets up, no problem.
Pierre-Louis of Saint-Etienne. Lindsay Juste trying to handle her teammate Dumarnet on a week-in, week-out basis.
I think one thing that Stoney has really preached since she's come in is wanting to get rid of that roboticness that she felt they sort of had in the past, and just wanting them to play free and be brave in the attack. And I think we're seeing a bit of a step here. We're seeing Canada want to create a lot in the attack, but more so having all those numbers forward and support around the ball, having numbers on their back line. It's very difficult for Haiti to be able to build out of the back. We're seeing some great defensive press, but also that when they do have the ball, great movement off the ball to be able to create opportunities.
Here comes Levasseur. Didn't quite get it over the head of Jennifer Limage. Carl gets stuck in where it hurts. Nice move from Ward. Around Ward shoots. How did she find that volley? It's a good stop by Pietrus, but Ward is making the most of her opportunity in her first cap.
But we spoke about what she would bring to this attack, and it's just that. It's that mentality. It's that hunger. She wants to get on the ball. She wants to strike on goal. She wants to get the crosses in, and she's going to continue to run at players, run through players, if that means that she's going to get a shot off.
Lyon looking for number 3 off the post. Wasn't sure if the keeper got a piece. The referee says goal kick. It's a great individual effort from Adriana Lyon.
If that was anyone else, I probably would have argued she could have played Ward. a little bit selfish in that sense, but you know an Adriana Lyon can make something happen. So why not? She goes, she hits the post. Holly Ward was open, but again, if you have the quality to do it, try it.
Roseline Eloisson working with Batcheva Louis. It is the number 9. All by herself down the left wing as Seleksyon heads into the box. There are 3 Haitian players hovering around the 18-yarder. Now Holly Ward with the steal. Vienne fans out to the left. Claire Constant trying to keep Vienne at bay. Ricochets. Awujo filled the vacated space by Lyon. Canada 1 pass away from a dangerous scoring opportunity.
It's a great win by Holly Ward to create that transitional moment, but then when Vienne does get on the ball, there's just not enough movement from both Lyon and Ward to provide her with an option to create something more dangerous than that. She comes back across, attempts to find feet, but the Haitian defender is able to step in there before Lyon is able to get her foot on it.
Fleming, Vienne couldn't get it out in time. Levasseur recognizes that her striker was under duress. Lyon for Ward, hits it again on the volley. They're feeding the hot hand right now. The 21-year-old's having the time of her life at Stade Saputo.
It's a good ball in. Holly Ward again doing well to get a foot on that. Just wasn't able to get enough power, and a bit of a redirection there off of the Haitian defenders.
If you've got the claw on, you feel invincible. At least that's what I understand. Other news and notes to pass along from Casey Stoney from our conversation yesterday. She's like, look, I don't want to get anyone too carried away, but she is expecting to have Kadisha Buchanan returning to the group very, very soon. Of course, that RTP return to play protocol is a long one, but just to see Kadisha Buchanan's face around this women's national team will be a big boost as Canada tries to get healthier at the center back position. Same with Sydney Collins, who's admittedly a little further out, but the type of player where I had asked Casey Stoney, look, is that a player that maybe you'd like to see at the fullback position because you haven't had the chance to? And she said, I might have tried to sign her in a previous life. Here comes Haiti as they're in the box. Carl makes a block, conceding a corner. 1, 2, 3 passes across the pitch, and Haiti got into a dangerous spot. It's Jeudi.
It's another look at it here. This is a great ball over. Gabby Carl does well to get back there, put her body on the line and clear that, but a little too easy for that ball to get over in the first place. Again, Canada finding a bit of luck in the fact that they're able to redirect that out of danger at the last minute.
Shirley Jeudi and an out swinging. Not much in the way of set-piece defending that Canada's had to do in this window. Jeudi, high foot in the air. Vienne at the near post, meets it first and sends it into the middle third. Levasseur gets stuck in, wins the tackle. D'Angelo, that's dangerous. Canada let off the hook by Jeudi, who panicked slightly in the opportunity she found herself in.
It's a decision-making that needs to be better from the back line at moments. I think overall we know the quality of these players as individuals, but at times their decision-making is not great. That's a perfect example of it. You know that D'Angelo is a goalkeeper that has a very high IQ, understands that she shouldn't be playing the ball directly to the Haitian forward, but she mishits that and puts herself in a very dangerous position. Had that been against a stronger opponent, you don't really know if that would have ended up in the back of the net.
Ward's Holly Ward to the middle, now playing distributor, and he'll have her first assist for country. Vienne with a pair, Holly Ward with a goal and an assist. This front three is on fuego in Montreal.
Holly Ward is having a night. This is so great to see from her. Evelyn Vienne getting on the board again for her brace. Here's another look at it. She finds the width, realizes that she can go inside. She cuts inside and does a nice little slip ball through Evelyn Vienne, perfectly timing her run, and she slips that by the goalkeeper to get her brace. Another look here, just a great finish. It was a great little through ball by Holly Ward. She does so well to find that gap and thread it.
Well, Casey Stoney wanted to see new partnerships and new people and new roles. Holly Ward is dazzling on her debut. Evelyn Vienne, that is goals 7 and 8 for country now. And as close to a timeout as you can call in football, Haiti just took. Taking care of business is right.
Come on, Adam, let's hear your singing voice.
I'm not saying that Jordan and Andy don't have standards, but I will not sing on a broadcast. That's my partner's job, not mine. I leave the singing for her.
I'd love to hear that come back from them. We'll report back.
They don't scare me. Nice job by Louise, somehow keeping that at her feet, bouncing off a pair of challenges. Bache Baloui out to the right side. Cross shot combo, regardless. Pick a name for it. It was easy for D'Angelo. "90 seconds from stoppage time, expecting a good deal of it. If you joined us late, really hard to see Olivia Smith stretchered off the pitch after she took a clearance from about 4 yards to the side of the head. She was down for 4 or 5, so there should still be a little more to be added before halftime. Of course, if we hear anything from the national team in terms of an update, we'll be sure to pass it along. Chavoshi with a good first tackle. Haiti get it back through Dumornay.
Dumornay, again, very active on this flank, finding the ball, creating issues. Canada struggling to get that out.
You see the very animated Malou Quignet on the Haitian touchline. He does not believe in the technical area that cannot contain him. Constant. Dumornay. And Limage. Jennifer Limage. Still the center back. Finding herself in unfamiliar territory. Not a bad ball. Now the penalty will be awarded. Marie Levasseur got tangled up. No hesitation from Erica Gonzalez to point to the spot. Ketna Louis draws it. Now the question is, who will take it?
You have to be careful here. You see her get beat, and she wants to bring that effort to be able to get to the ball. Instead, she gets caught up. And was there a touch there?
There's a tug of 3 seconds before she fell, to be fair, but there's contact there.
There's contact before she fell, yes. She realized she wasn't going to be able to get to that ball, and she does fall, but there is definitely contact from Levasseur. It's the right call by the referee.
Dumornay v. D'Angelo. Based on Canada's track record in penalty shootouts lately, never bad to get a little extra practice. Where are you putting this, Lacey?
Me, personally?
You better be quick.
I'm going left. I'm going left, and I usually, it's not bottom, it's right in the middle.
Mid-left calls Lacey. Dumornay, bottom right instead. Beats D'Angelo with a perfect penalty. And a rowdy Haitian contingent has something to celebrate, something for Marie Levasseur to fret.
Well, I was wrong.
You're retired now.
I thought you were asking where I personally would go.
Okay.
Another look at it here. A bit of a tug there. She does fall, again, delayed, but Dumornay making no mistake and stepping up confidently and placing that home like the pro that she is.
Hardly a celebration on her face, more of a expectation to do it. Her side still well behind. And a little bit of a morale booster heading into the halftime break. This is Fleming. Dumornay. Game of pinball. It'll be a throw-in for one of the nations. It looks to be Haiti. Number we were hearing for stoppage time was 4 before the penalty. I can't imagine it would be much more than that. Here's Carl. Fleming. Creating separation. Pass slightly off the mark. Kenna Louis intervenes. Louis who drew the penalty, Dumornay who scored it. Maudlin Moril.
You're seeing Canada do a much better job this game at avoiding those transitional moments and re-winning the ball and repossessing it higher up the pitch. When they are depossessed by this Haitian side right there, they were able to potentially create something. Here's another look at that PK, perfectly placed.
Striker after your own heart. Final seconds in the half. Chavoshi. Carl wins a throw for Canada. That's 3 matches in a row that the Canadians have failed to keep a clean sheet. You see Malou Quignette, 27 years old when he was given the job, the youngest head coach in world football. What's terrifying is that Jess Lisi is older than that guy.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I just turned 27. Don't age me.
We'll discuss this at halftime. Don't make me look bad on the broadcast. Canada 3, Haiti 1 after 45 minutes. Evelyn Vienne with a brace. Holly Ward gets her first goal and an assist for country. Dumornay from the penalty spot. A lot for Amy, Andy, and Jordan to recap when we come back.
Allstate and its 900 agents proudly support Canadian soccer at every level. Visit allstate.ca.